Big opportunity for the Pirates this week. Talk about what that presents for you guys and getting off to a good start.
Well, I mean, we're facing a good football team. I mean, it's a team that has had a lot of success. You know, most of those guys are 5th or 6th year seniors. They've won a lot of games since they've been there. So it is a great challenge and a great opportunity. It's going to be a good matchup. You know, I'm excited about the group that we have. They'll be ready to play. I expect us to play very well. But you know, it's a chance on a little bit of a national stage in an NFL stadium, ESPN game. You know, it's a chance to really find out a lot about ourselves and to be in a situation to to play against a very good program.
Coach, you kind of touched on this somewhat in the preseason, but playing with juice, all that early, but also playing with discipline. Like, how important is it going to be to not make mistakes against a better football team that can take advantage of it?
Well, I mean, I think that's going to be the key. You know, that's the deal. Whether you're talking about turnovers, because I do think turnovers will be a factor in this ball game. You know, which team can take care of the ball, which team can force some mistakes. I think being able to play aggressively and downhill like we want to defensively at the same time. Not give up anything cheap. I think that's going to be critical. They're a team that has a lot of experience and guys that have played a lot of snaps. Virtually every position, both sides of the ball. So, that's a group that usually doesn't make a ton of mistakes. But it's game one, so I think both teams it's going to be critical for them to execute at a high level.
Coach, can you take us through the rest of the schedule for this week? It's a short week. You guys are already on Monday. What the game plan is for the rest of today, tomorrow, travel day, and then game day?
Well, we'll practice this evening, do our Wednesday practice, which is our last kind of heavy day for the week, and then come back tomorrow afternoon with practice before walking through here Wednesday morning and heading to Charlotte around lunchtime on Wednesday. So, still some work to be done. But it's a deal where now you're cleaning up execution things and sharpening up some things in the kicking game, and just try to get the kids as fresh as we can so that they're ready to go Thursday night.
Coach, you guys talk about what it's going to be like on the big stage, like you said, with Bank of America Stadium and the Panther deal like that, and just the excitement there.
Well, I mean, I think when you think about it, so many of our guys, you think about Rajay and Keaton and some of those guys that played so much last year. They've never played in front of a crowd like this before. They were in high school 2 years ago. Last year during the pandemic, the biggest crowd we played in front of was less than 10,000. Now you're going to be in an NFL stadium in front of about 40,000 fans. So it's going to be electric for them. Now they have the experience from last year, so I think they'll handle it just fine. But it'll certainly add to just a little more energy to the kickoff Thursday night.
You touched on it a little bit earlier, but it's not like you're playing a West Coast team or Big Ten, or it's an in-state game against a program that's been consistent and y'all are feeling good. I mean, big picture, is this a pretty good measuring stick of where maybe y'all are at in the pecking order of things?
Well, I think it's a measuring stick from the standpoint of I think that they have a quality team right now. I mean, that's you look at the success they've had the last several years, and these guys have been the ones playing. So I'm sure that they're expecting to have a chance to have a special season this year. So we're playing a quality program in the opener. We're excited about what we have. So I think certainly it's going to be something it'll tell us what we have. It'll tell us where we stand. Long term, I think 2 in-state state-supported institutions. I think it's going to develop into what should be a great rivalry.
Coach, we don't have a depth chart yet, so we got to ask you at least 1 or 2 personnel questions.
Well, they're out, so yeah.
Have you guys decided on who the third running back will be, or is that something that will kind of continue into the season?
Well, I mean, I think you're going to have a couple of guys with us on the trip. Pop McKay's been getting a lot of reps there. Lorenzo Dorr, who just joined us, has been getting some reps there. So Jamani Wilson will be with us on the trip. So those guys are all working in that role, and so I think it's something you want to kind of give it a little bit more time and see how they progress. You could see some of those guys Thursday night. But we're pleased with where we are right now.
Kind of a similar question, not surprisingly. On the defensive side in the backfield, I mean, that is where you have a lot of depth. How do you plan or do you use that to your advantage of rotating guys in this first game especially, and keeping guys fresh? Maybe is that part of the plan?
Right. Well, I think that's just it. We do have some depth back there, but at the same time, those guys are on a lot of special teams, so it's allowing us to, play more guys in our four core, and the key really is to keep them fresh. I think they're playing very fast. I think, you've got some guys that are playing as good a ball as they've played since I've been here. You do have some experience back there, so I think, compared to where we were my first year, it's good to have that kind of depth back there on the back end.
What extra challenges does going against an experienced team like this pose, and how do you feel you guys look against what you've seen so far on tape?
Well, I think that, you're going against a group that's used to winning. You're going against a group that's had a lot of success. They've got a lot of confidence. You're going against a group that's played a lot of ball, and so they have a lot of experience in big ball games. So you're facing a group that has all the things that you need to win a championship, and so I think that's the biggest challenge. Our bunch, I think that we played really well at times last year. We certainly finished strong, and I think we've shown tremendous potential. And I'll be honest, this is the most talented group that I've had since I've gotten here, because it's all the guys from last year, just bigger, faster, and stronger. I'm confident that we're going to play well Thursday night. The thing that we've got to do is we got to go out and be able to, consistently just play, the brand of ball we got to play for 4 solid quarters. And because it's going to be a game that, in order for us to win it, we're going to have to really battle down the stretch. And so I think that's something that, will be impressed upon the kids between now and kickoff Thursday night. But I'm excited about watching our guys play. I'm excited about this game.
But you guys are playing at night, but it's probably so gonna be hot and, warm conditions. So how much do you think that depth will come into factor in terms of trying to keep the guys fresh, but also having an increased depth, not only on defense, but maybe on the offensive line?
Right.
Other places kind of rotate in on a hot night.
Well, one thing our guys are accustomed to is playing in the heat. I mean, because it's been a cooker here the last couple of weeks in Greenville. So, first games, first couple of games of the year, depth is always an issue because no matter what you do during preseason camp, there's nothing that simulates a full, college football game. So, it is good. We do have depth up front on the offensive line. We do have tremendous depth on the defensive line in the secondary and at linebacker. We have depth at running back. We have depth at the receiver position. So it is a situation where we should be able to rotate some guys and keep them fresh, and that's the plan. We want to play a lot of people. Now, that being said, I've told the players, we want to play a lot of guys, but they got to earn the right to get on that field. And so, this has been a big week from a standpoint of guys, showing that they can be trusted, snap in and snap out, so you can figure out your rotations.
You ended last year on a great note with SMU. How do you bottle that up and kind of bring it to Charlotte? And how do veterans like Holton help this team who's never faced or seen a big crowd like this get ready for the game?
Well, I think that certainly that momentum from last season carried over into the off season. It was evident in our workouts. It's been evident throughout the summer. It's been evident throughout preseason camp. I mean, just the vibe on the practice field last night was as good as you could expect. I was really pleased with the way we practiced. So I think that the kids feel that momentum. They all want to go out and just kind of build on it. We'd love to come out and play at that level in this opening game. I think, anytime you have an experienced quarterback, that's certainly an asset. And Holton has plenty of experience. He's played in big ball games. He's had great performances. This will be nothing that will really shake him or faze him. So I think, the advantage is you're going to have a leader that's going to have composure and confidence on that stage, and I think that's certainly a plus on our side. Anything else? Okay, thanks a lot. See you Thursday.
Okay, you raise your hand if you got questions.
Well, Donnie, watching App State, one of their big D linemen, Demetrius Taylor, kind of stands out on film. Is he kind of a guy you know to know where he is pre-snap game for a little bit?
You know, they have a lot of good players. You know what I'm saying? Singling him out, yeah. You know, he definitely is obviously an aggressive guy, knocks the line of scrimmage back. They got 10 starters back on defense. They're a very experienced team. I think they gave up 16 points a game. Somebody told me. I'm glad I didn't look that up earlier. You know what I'm saying? So the whole group is like that. Now, some of them are bigger and stronger, and they kind of play more of a bull rush and knock you back. Some of the guys are quick, kind of run around you, a little bit like that. But there's a lot of guys that really concern me. He would be one of them, though, yeah.
The preseason, a lot of the improved offensive line was kind of the theme. I mean, how much are you looking forward to seeing how they perform and what different, that might look like?
Well, I see Sean Bailey sitting back there, so yeah, I hope he's ready to hear this then. No, I think what I know is when we won here before and I was here, we won because we were better up front. Now, we had some good skill kids, there's no question about that, but we won up in the trenches, and that's the style of play Coach Houston's brought here. That's the style that this staff wants to do. We want to be able to wear people down, play a physical, hard-nosed game. And, our offensive line has been a very beaten-up, injured group. There's so many guys that have come here and they're out. They've lost their careers to injuries. We've kind of finally rebuilt that, I think, a little bit. We have some depth there. We've got maybe, 3 guys at each position that could roll in there, meaning at guard there's 3. So they might have to play both sides. We kind of have 2 and a spare. It's kind of like that at tackle, I think, going into the game. I think that's really important, especially early in the season. It's probably going to be hot. It's probably going to be a humid type game. I heard Coach Harrell referring to, you got to sub early. You got to make yourself do that a little bit. But I feel good about the line. You know what I'm saying? I think that they are going to be the guys that set the tempo for us. How they play is probably how we're going to play offensively.
Donnie, third year as OC here, a lot of returning talent for you. How much more comfortable are you going into game day in year 3 in terms of you got your quarterback back, 2 running backs, the lineman, like you said, a couple of receivers? Does that help your comfort?
Well, when you get this close to the game, I don't know that I'm ever really comfortable. You start to get a little bit antsy. You kind of start to, anticipate. You're playing the game out in your mind. You're watching film. There was a point in there yesterday when Coach Shanklar said, you better turn that off. You start watching too much. It's just we need to do what we're doing. Just don't try to overanalyze this thing and let's go play. So as a coach, that's kind of what you do. Having Holton back, though, for the 3rd year, the meetings are much smoother. It's nice to have 2 returning running backs. So all that's good. There's still some new faces out there that we're really, anxious to see how Ryan Jones is going to do. It's going to be a big emotional game for him. He's going back to his home city, Charlotte. We're playing in Bank of America Stadium. I'm sure if you grow up in Charlotte especially, that's got to be a dream to go play in that stadium. You're just dreaming of doing that. So I hope we can get him settled down because I know he's going to be jacked up. I'd like to see Josiah Hatfield, who's been around, but I'd like to see get him going. I'm really anxious to see how he's going to do. Really anxious to see how Audie's going to do coming back now, kind of being a little bit more comfortable in this offense, and he's had a great preseason camp. So, the team was out there last night, and I could just tell that they were ready to just go play the game. You know what I'm saying? They're just tired of practicing. They're tired of hearing us talk. They're tired of hitting each other. They're just ready to go play. And now as coaches, you're thinking, are we ready? Are we ready? Because I see a mistake here. I see a mistake there. We're in there watching film this morning. But it's just time to go and find out what we're all about. The first game's not going to be the entire season. We have to keep reminding ourselves of that. But it sure is going to set the tempo for, what the state of mind is going to be.
Coach, we talked to Coach Houston about momentum. You guys put up over 50 plus your season finale against SMU, and he said that carried over into camp this year. Just how do you keep that going against Appalachian State with, again, like you said, so many guys back?
It's nice to have that. I think when you're in a positive state of mind, when you start to believe, that's been a big thing, I think, coming back here when the program was kind of at its lowest point maybe. But it was kind of like that when I came here in 2005 too. We were very fortunate in 2005 to play a team out here and win that first game. And we didn't play great. They just happened to be worse than we were at that time. But I think the kids balled in a little bit more because they believed. They kind of got the confidence that they could go win. That's kind of been a big deal here, trying to get that going. Year one, we were not really ever ready to kind of get that momentum going and sustain it. Last season, ups, downs, but we did finish well, finished with 2 wins in a row right there. Played good offensively, obviously in the last game. So we're trying to carry that over, but I just don't know that it does. One year to the next year, I don't know that it does carry over. So you just got to go out there, and I think, as the play caller, I just have to try to be careful to just realize, it's 4 quarters of a game. Guy can go out there and throw the immaculate inning in the first inning and then get shelled the inning 2, though. You know what I'm saying? You can strike out and then you can hit a home run. And in football, sometimes we may get a quick score. Everybody wants to go score first. We do. We scored first at Georgia State, and that's probably the worst day of my college coaching career. So that didn't work out. So I'm just focused on, what you're doing, setting stuff up, what you're calling. If you're scoring, you're trying not to get too excited. If you're not scoring, you try not to panic too much. So you just have to kind of play the game out. It's just got some ups and downs in it. And I hope we can come out and carry over that momentum, because that was as good a first half, I guess, against SMU as anybody could possibly play. I think we scored every time we had the ball. And didn't have much time left in the last one, so I think we kicked a field goal. We probably would have scored a touchdown every one of them. But I just don't know if that's got anything to do with it or not. You know what I'm saying? A different team. They're a veteran team. They're used to winning. You know what I'm saying? Like that, we're going to have to go in there and break their will. Our guys are going to really have to match them. And if we get ahead, I promise you they ain't quitting. If we get behind, we better not quit. You're like right here. It's kind of weird. You got to have a mic. I guess it's for the guys in the back.
That's right. You've been at App State, correct?
Yes, I have.
Around,
Yes, I have. I've got great memories of that mountain.
Just, I guess, big picture. You probably understand the in-state factor. It's not like you're opening up against Fresno State or Eastern Michigan or whatever. These are 2 programs that have similar aspirations. What kind of impact can that have for either team, and obviously for y'all to win the game?
This is a fun game. I know it's a fun game probably for the fans, or I think it would be, because it's kind of east, versus west a little bit. We're kind of meeting in the middle, a little bit like that. I was at Appalachian State from, I'm not going to give you the years because that'd give away my age way too much, but I was there for 7, I guess 8 years, and I know that mentality that they have that chip on their shoulder. We were like that when I was there. We started winning conference championships under Mac Brown and Sparky Woods, who I worked for there. And they have that mentality, and they preach that we get overlooked. We're, you know what I'm saying, but we're the best team in the state. And the last years, they've kind of proven they are the best program, in the state, win-loss wise. I know we've played them here before, and the one game we jumped off to a big lead. And then we were defending a throw into the end zone to win that game. So these guys have played in big environments. They've beaten South Carolina. They beat North Carolina. They've beaten Michigan. When we were there, we beat ACC teams. We beat State. We beat Wake Forest and all those type of things too. So, yeah, they've got that culture that we're actually trying to build here, because we need that chip on our shoulder and go play like that too. So it's going to be a clash of 2 programs that are trying to establish themselves as the best program in the state.
Coach, how excited are you for that college football experience with the fans back, and how do you mitigate kind of that noise on offense?
Again, it's awesome. I love the game, the college game. I love all the pageantry. you know what I'm saying, from the cheerleaders, you know, to the tailgating and all that stuff. And I think it's what makes college football so good. But as this week I prepare, I really just block the noise out, you know what I'm saying. I can't let myself get caught up in, you know, all that type of excitement. Like I say, if you have a good play, you don't have time to think about anything but what's the down and distance, where's the field position, what hashes the ball on, you got to get the next play. The players can, you know, I think feel that energy. You know, last year was a weird year, you know what I'm saying, we're sitting in the press box before the first game. It felt like spring ball, felt like a Saturday scrimmage out there. You know, there was a lot more on the line, obviously, than that, but that's what it felt like. So I think the pregame talks are going to even be more exciting. The warm-up will be exciting. Everybody's going to be jacked up. I usually just try to calm myself down a little bit. I don't get into too much of the hype before the game. You know, I let the players do that. What happens is the ball snapped, first hit, then everybody just kind of settles in, and that's kind of over. So I don't think you ever win a game on all the other part. I think it helps you in recruiting. I think it helps you get better players, you know what I'm saying? I think sometimes maybe the other team can get affected. When you play here in this stadium, I know talking to coaches on other staffs, you know, they say, yeah, it can get to you a little bit, you know what I'm saying, playing in this environment, because this thing can get rocking pretty good. But neutral site, I don't know. I'm glad they're all back. I'm glad we're back doing that. I hope it will continue. Hope it doesn't change. But at this point, I'm not thinking a lot about that, though.
Coach, with Rajay and Keaton, do you script out, hey, this guy's going to get the first series or third series, and then after that, is it kind of a game flow that dictates who plays?
Well, we are going to rotate both of them. Obviously, we see them as both starters. You know what I'm saying? We don't necessarily play them at the same time. We could. We have sets where they are in the game together, but we will rotate them, and we haven't really gotten down to the specifics of that. The game plan is pretty much finalized. We will work some things today. We work red zone, we work some goal line situations, and we review other situations. We go in and take some things out. We don't add anything really usually this late. We talk in terms of who we want to get the ball to, though, a lot, you know, especially in third downs. You think more personnel than you do play. I don't think the play is nearly as important as who's running the play or who's getting the ball in the play. So we haven't really thought like, okay, we want him to get it 20 and him get it 21 or anything like that. We just know that we want both of them to have it a lot.
Coach, obviously, the first thing that I have stands out kind of the running game, but specifically people, is he so big and physical? How much of a challenge is maybe simulating his style of running for your defensive players?
Yeah, Cam Peoples, really good football player. Had a really nice season last year. He's a big kid. I think he's listed 6'1", 6'2", 220 pounds. And got great speed, too. You know, grew up DJ Ford out of Alabama. So we know a lot about him. He knows, you know, about his childhood, the speed he has, and how athletic he is. And it's hard to simulate. You know, there's no question. We got some bigger backs. Rajay gave us a great, you know, a bigger back in camp and preseason here that really gave us a good look at that. And we keep trying to simulate that with our scout team. But we got to make sure we do a great job just wrapping him up and tackling. Nate Noel, the other back, number 20, is more of their speed guy. I think he's listed at 190 pounds. But he can get going. And he's, you know, both of them got good speed. Noel may be the faster of the two. Just on tape, that's how it looks anyways. And, you know, he came on toward the end of the season last year, broke a big run in the Georgia Southern game. Both of them had big runs in the North Texas game. I think Cameron had, you know, a run for 70-something and one for 64. And then Noel had a big run for 60 as well. So they've had some big runs. They got the home run ability. Both got good vision to work that outside zone stretch and be patient and get the cut back there. So both do a nice job. And we got to do a nice job just kind of every snap, play after play, fitting our gaps, fitting where we're supposed to be, and do a great job tackling and, you know, and try to force some turnovers with those two guys.
Coach has talked about early in the game, especially the first game, turnovers, and that kind of momentum can play, you know, such a big role. How do you address that when you guys kind of know, hey, an interception or a fumble or something can really get you off going, or you just kind of let it play out?
No, it's something you kind of focus on, and that's really our focus every day we go to work, whether it's spring ball, preseason camp, week 1 of the season, week 15 of the season. You're focused on turnovers, all about the ball, whether it's an interception, just matching hands on the quarterback, strip sacks, punching the ball out with running backs. We actually bought this new little contraption downstairs to keep in our team room. You guys may have seen it, I think, on the first one of the first press conferences there, but it's a new little deal. Our guys just raking at the ball all the time, just punching, just kind of teaching them, hey, always be thinking about punching the ball out, poking it out, ripping it out, those type of things, club punch, rip. So constantly practice that. Our offensive guys, we do a little drill with them each day. They're practicing ball security, and we're practicing turnovers. So it's constantly on our mind, constantly want to talk about it. It's one of our goals for the game. And early in the season, you hope that you can take advantage of that because those turnovers can be big for you.
Coach, how good do you feel about the approach that you guys are taking and how you match up against them defensively overall?
Yeah, our guys are working their tails off, and they've worked their tails off. And I told them yesterday, they've been doing it ever since the last game at SMU last year, working to this point and working for this game, for this Thursday night versus App State, and doing a great job of that and putting themselves in a position to have a great ball game. And we got to make sure these final days of preparation, we're doing everything we can to put us in a chance to be successful Thursday night, whether it's mental preparation, taking care of our bodies, ice tub, getting our legs back, whatever that may be. We got to make sure we're ready to go Thursday night in the best shape of our lives and feeling the best we can. So.
We've talked a lot about defensive depth throughout the preseason. How do you kind of approach that going from game 1? Is that something you script out, like a third series, and put these guys in, or is it more of a game flow?
I think early on you can have a plan, because you don't want to wait till the fourth quarter and say, oh, now we got to sub. You got to sub early so you're fresh late in the game. And you got to have a plan of, hey, we're going to have this rotation going, whether it's up front, the secondary, by series, by play. Some of that you can maybe put on a kid just know that, hey, after 5-6 plays, you get ready to rock and roll. And most of that's on the coaches, their individual position groups. But you got to make sure we're subbing early, make sure we're taking advantage of that so we got fresh guys on the field. That way come third, fourth quarter, we're still fresh and ready to rock and roll there.
Especially in the first game and after not really having fans last year, how long can the adrenaline last, do you think, for kickoff? Like, does that wear off a few series in or a half or what?
That's interesting. I'm excited about just the opportunity to have fans and play at Bank of America Stadium and playing in front of a crowd and an ECU crowd and be my first time that I get to experience that, really. I mean, you look back last year, the pandemic, you really never got that kind of a stadium, that kind of atmosphere. And the kids will feed off of that. I think we bring, last year was always bring your own juice, and we'll continue to do that, bring our own energy, and we'll have that environment. But I think we'll feed off the fans as well, just the energy they bring and the excitement they bring. But at the same time, once you take the snap one, that's not really your focus anymore. It's, hey, getting the call, get my execution, make sure I line, all those type of things go into play there, and just get back to our fundamentals.
You have questions for Coach Harrell? Coach, thank you very much.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
But when you actually go against a different opponent, I feel like the aggression is at a different level. The determination, do what you're supposed to do and make plays is at an all-time high. So just being excited for that, mentally preparing for that way helps me.
I know you're a Virginia guy, but with this being an in-state game for East Carolina and App, do you kind of feel that? Do you get that feeling heading into this game?
I mean, I think that's more of a North Carolina thing. I just come show up and play. Maybe it feels like a Virginia thing. I'll understand, but since I'm not from North Carolina, I don't really understand the beef. But I'm a Pirate, so I'm on their side regardless.
How excited are you to, you've been practicing at Rush now forever, it seems like this preseason at least. We've talked about that a lot. How excited are you to kind of show that off in the game and do some different stuff?
I mean, I'm excited. I'm trying to give the offense some difficulties, trying to show versatility, playing different positions. But I'm still working at that position, getting better each and every day. So I'm excited to see what I'm going to do against the actual opponent.
How have the YouTube videos gone? Have you picked up any tips?
I mean, I've been watching them and try to implement them into my game, but I really just been trying to take coaching from Coach Dowse. You know, he's been doing a good job trying to work on my hand placement and block destruction.
Gotcha. Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Thank
Touch
you.
on something you already touched on a little bit with IO, but NFL Stadium, crowds back, man. Talk to me about the excitement as you walk down that tunnel. What's going to be going through your mind?
That might be when I get my little butterflies. You know, before every game, I'm not nervous until it's time to walk on the field. So that I'm really excited about. You know, that gets me even more pumped up, you know, ready to play, go make plays. So I'm really excited about that. Hopefully it set us a little boost, give us a competitive advantage. Me and the guys, you know, especially the young guys who haven't had that experience yet, give them something special to remember.
And you haven't heard that kind of excitement in a while because of everything that's going on in the last year and a half. It's gonna be a thrill for you, isn't it, hearing those fans?
Oh yeah, especially making a play. Like I said before, you know, that just gets me going. You know, like I build off that, the team builds off that energy. Especially like not only the fans, but just having your teammates there. Like I'm just real excited to just play as one unit again.
We're pumped to see fans again. We're pumped to have that environment again. I think Mr. Gilbert said we sold 40,000 tickets for ECU, so we're gonna have a lot of Pirates there, and we're really pumped about that.
Not having seen it in so long, does that kind of get you? Is it like man, this is gonna be incredible. This is why I signed up to play college football.
It's gonna be exciting. I think we're gonna be able to play within ourselves. I don't think anyone's gonna get too distracted by it, but we're gonna be really pumped to have that environment back.
And having a experienced team like App State that you're going against, I know Coach has been telling you guys, you got to take these guys for real, or seriously. Talk to me about your game plan and looking into that game.
We want to get after them. They're experienced, but we feel that if we get him in the mouth, we might be able to throw him off a little bit. So that's kind of what we're going with. We want to be a physical offensive line. We want to get after them.
How important is it to do that early?
That's paramount. That's the most essential thing we can do. You don't want to start slow. You want to start out the gate, be fast.
It's been so long since you guys have seen a massive crowd, and there'll be a lot of people there. Not only that, it's an NFL stadium. Talk to me about going down that tunnel and what it's going to look like for you and how you're going to feel.
It's going to feel great. You almost forget, you know, what the fans were and you know, how it feels with that loud of a crowd, and especially, you know, having as many Pirates as we will there and kind of having much App State fans as there. You know, I look forward to playing in atmospheres like that, so I'm super excited.
You missed it.
I did. Yeah, I missed it. I think everyone did. That's what makes college football and separates it, you know, from NFL is that these fans are passionate and, you know, they're alumni and stuff like that, so I'm excited.
How important is it for you guys to get out to a quick start?
It's very important. You know, we've talked about that this is a great statement game for us, for our program, and show where we are at. Because, I mean, they're a great program. They have a lot of winning history, especially recently. So if we get a win, I mean, that'd be huge.
How excited are you with the weapons you have around you? But not only that, the guys in front of you.
Yeah.
You're blocking. I know that's going to be a big deal for you to have a healthy line.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the best all-around offense that we've had here since I've been here. The most skilled guys we have, and those guys up front blocking. I mean, they know how to protect. That we've been through stuff together, and I really trust them.